This is the introduction to the Global Project Management course. The goal of this first module is to explain why there is a need for a framework of global project management, and to briefly discuss the Global Project Management framework, giving some ideas on how you can study the framework to be ready for the rest of the course. So at first, brief history of project management. At first, in the 50s and 60s, project management principles started to be defined, such as network planning, the cost management, and these principles were later adopted across several industries in the 70s. In the 80s, other disciplines started to be added to these principles, such as scope control, quality control, risk management, human resources, communications, and procurement. And at least two global organizations, the Project Management Institute and the International Project Management Association, were created to allow project managers to use such principles, and they developed later bodies of knowledge such as the PMBOK and competence baselines such as the ICB. Later, in the 90s, some advance started to change the world of organizations and of project management. So basically, we started to have new networking technologies available, such as the internet and video conferences and online tools. And enterprises started to work in networks. They started to collaborate across the world. And that gave birth to virtual projects, so projects that have team members spread across several locations, and when these locations are in other countries, we typically call these global projects. So you probably heard about the Babel Tower, right? What happened in the Babel Tower? There was several people from different countries trying to build a tower together to reach the skies, and that failed because the collaboration with among these people and from different languages didn't work out. How can you make sure that collaboration works across different locations? So you need to have at least a common terminology of project management, of the deliverables, and of the discipline you are working. You need to have also some cool common tools and templates for people to use across these locations. You need to have some common processes established across locations as well, and have an alignment of expectations of people from different countries. Basically, you need to try to reuse artifacts across countries and across teams to not reinvent processes and templates every time you need to do some work in the project. And perhaps you can share also best practices available in these different locations so that you can build together the common tools and processes from best practices that already exist in different locations. So I did a survey a while ago, and most people agree that it's between important and critical to have common rules and templates, and having everyone using common project management methodology, so standardized processes, documents, and terminologies. And there are several emerging standards for project management. So I mentioned already the project management body of knowledge from the Project Management Institute, which is de facto global standard because several companies in several continents use the PMBOK as the reference. The IPMA is also an international association that has several different standards, and one standard, which is the competence baseline, that is some sort of unifying standard across the different bodies of knowledge that are available, each from a different country. You have Prince2 in UK, available for mandatory for British government projects. Hermes is one available in Switzerland. GAPS is a recent standard that is being created, available for program and project management. And also very recent is the ISO guidance on project management, that is basically a simplification of the PMBOK guide without adding many new features. And a survey performed a long while ago, already in 2009, discovered that many people, I think most of people use the PMBOK, but what is more important is to see that most people interviewed don't have a methodology or don't have a methodology aligned to one of the global standards. So there is a margin for improvement, and hopefully it's already improved in the last 5 years since this survey. So if you have a project management body of knowledge guiding the process of project management, you can have also a complementary process or framework that allows people to manage projects across borders, across countries. And that is the book that I wrote, which is available for this course, which is called Global Project Management, Communication, Collaboration, Management Across Borders. So why was this book created? Basically, projects can range from small projects to very large projects. And there are different ways of measuring the complex dimensions of a project. For example, the budget, the duration, the team size. What I defined is really the set of global dimensions, what I call globalness, that can be seen in the next slide, which is having people available from different organizations, from different cultures, speaking different languages, from different locations and time zones. So that's a bit follows my career evolution. When I was working in Brazil, I was working in different organizations. I moved to Portugal. The language was the same, but we have different cultures across Brazil and Portugal. I moved to Belgium. I needed to learn French because most people were speaking French in the company I was working for. When I moved to UK, most of my team members were in Switzerland, so I was managing people across different locations, UK and Switzerland. And finally, I moved to Switzerland, and I had a team spread several locations across the world. So I have people in one of the projects in New York, in Hong Kong, and Switzerland, and then the time zones made it very difficult to manage the project. There are several opportunities as well. I'm not going to read one by one, but I guess you can figure out the types of opportunities you have. Otherwise, nobody would manage global projects. We would have only local projects if there were no opportunities, no benefits of managing that. So basically, how can we transform the challenges that we mentioned before into opportunities? I created a framework which is called the Global Project Management Framework, and is fully explained in the book. So each of the modules that you see on the screen are represented by one chapter in the book. The first set of chapters is around global teams, so how can you manage teams across locations. The second set is around communication between team members in different locations in different countries. The third is organizational structures and hiring processes and PMOs across countries and continents. And the last two is the first, what tools are available for you to communicate across locations, and what techniques you need to put in place to use such tools in an effective way. So when you read the introduction chapter of the book, please make sure you're able to define when a project is global. That's the first thing you must understand from that chapter. Identify examples of global projects from your work, for those of you who have worked before in global organizations, or perhaps from your academic experience. You need to know the types of global projects and understand the key requirements and advantages of these projects to the companies and the project managers. And finally, you must be able to recognize the categories and modules of the Global Project Management Framework, because these are going to be details in the next classes. You also find 2 crosswords and 1 word search in the course materials that aim to understand if you understood all the materials and if you covered all the materials. So start to completing them today. If you cannot find an answer, keep trying every week after the classes. That will make sure that you cover the key topics of the course in a very interactive and simple manner.